Good morning and welcome to the Recharge Metals investor presentation. Today on the line we have Recharge Metals Managing Director Felicity Repacholi-Muir. Felicity is going to run through the slide deck for us today. Over to you, Felicity.
Morning, Alex. Thanks for having us. Just a quick little update on Recharge. Recharge listed on the stock exchange in late 2021. Initially with a copper asset just south of Silver Lake's deflector operation in Western Australia. And in March this year, we announced the transformational asset acquisition of the Express Lithium project, located in the highly prospective James Bay area of northern Quebec in Canada. And since then, just last month, we announced our second acquisition, which is the Wapistan Lithium project, which is located only 120 kilometres away. So today I'll outline the catalysts for our foray into Canada and also bring you up to speed on both the Express Lithium project and the Wapistan Lithium project, what work has been completed and our work program going forward. And hopefully from this you'll realise why REC is such a good investment.
Fantastic.
The usual disclaimer, which I'll rush through. Okay, so a quick overall summary of Recharge and where we're at today. So as mentioned, we've acquired two projects within the James Bay region of Quebec in Canada, the Express Lithium project and the Wapistan Lithium project, both only 120 kilometres away from each other. And this area is really emerging as a world-class lithium province. Both of our projects are at very similar stages, very early stage exploration stages. Neither project has been looked at from a lithium point of view before, but having said that, there are numerous untested outcropping pegmatites within the project area. So we're really excited about getting on the ground. Of note is the fact that the DG Resource Management Group vendored the Recharge's initial asset, the Express project, into the company, and they hold approximately 16% of the register. And DG Resource Management is headed by their VP, Jody DeRouge, and they specialise in the early stages of exploration. So essentially through compilation and evaluation, they identify project areas, stake them, and then find an exploration partner for them. And I suppose really, if you know what is note from that, is that they were involved in the identification and staking of the Corvette project, which now sits within Patriot Battery Metals. And through the DG Resource Management Group, they have essentially a consulting arm, geological consulting arm, which we are utilising for our work on both the Express and Wapistan projects. We have a really aggressive exploration campaign about to commence shortly, hoping that the wildfire situation gets under control in Quebec. I'll touch on that later. And I suppose of importance is the fact that we're fully funded to undertake our exploration programs at both Express and Wapistan. So a quick corporate snapshot. I'm Managing Director. I've been on the board since inception, initially as a non-exec, and transitioned to Managing Director along with the project acquisition of the Express Lithium project. Alongside me as our chair is Simon Andrew. Simon has over 20 years of experience in financial markets in Asia and Australia. He previously led the equity sales desk for BNP Paribas, and also was with the research team at the Deutsche Bank in Asia. Amanda Burgess is non-executive director and company secretary, and she has a wealth of accounting and company secretarial experience. And then also within our team is obviously the DeRouge Geological Consulting Group, who I referred to. And they are really key for us getting on the ground in a timely manner and utilising all of their experience going forward. We have 111 million shares on issue, and from yesterday we're market cap of approximately 38 million. We have a really supportive share register with DeRouge, as mentioned, holding approximately 16%, with board and management with an additional 3%. And yeah, really tightly held structure. So I won't discuss too much about why we're there. I think it's pretty common knowledge as to the focus on lithium mineralisation and being in these forward-looking commodities. But I suppose, what is really important is, why did we choose Canada to enter into? And Canada is a tier 1 mining jurisdiction. The government is super supportive. It has just injected 100 million into Lion Electric to establish the lithium-ion battery manufacturing capability. And it has recently unveiled the 2.78 billion of capital in its recently announced critical mineral strategy, of this which lithium has been shortlisted for, which is obviously our key commodity. There's various financial incentives for mining entities operating in Canada, including the flow-through share system. So, there's a whole host of reasons as to why we are there. And yeah, we're really happy to be entering into the Canadian exploration space. So where are we exactly? So we're in James Bay, which is emerging as a world-class lithium province. We are right over on the western side of the James Bay. You can see those 2 blue dots with the Wapistan project sitting to the north there and Express sitting to the south. The 2 projects are located only 120 kilometres away from each other, and we're sitting within, fantastic company within that area. We're surrounded by some really advanced projects with Allchem's 40 million tonne James Bay deposits, Nemaska's 55 million tonne Wabuchi deposit, and Critical Elements 37 million tonne Rose deposit. So they are all really circa to our projects there. And also additional to these are some of the major discoveries that have been occurring within the area. Of note is the Corvette discovery by Patriot Battery Metals, which lies to the east of the Wapistan project, and also the success that Winsome Resources have been having at their Cansett and Adina projects. And I know that the market is really looking forward to seeing some resources come out from both Winsome and Corvette, so we'll be eagerly watching that space. And so I think initially, and also I suppose of, real note in terms of why are we where we are as well. So we've really focused on sitting on this western side of James Bay. And you can see even from this very, I suppose essentially schematical map, that we are pretty much alongside the State Route 109, which runs from the north to the south through that area. There's Quebec hydropower lines through the area. So we feel like we're really strategically located in terms of from an infrastructure logistical point of view. So now I'm going to jump into our Wapistan Lithium project, which was the project which we acquired in June. We're really excited by the Wapistan project. We cover approximately 30 kilometres of the Yasinski Greenstone belt. And our nearest neighbours are OPHR Gold and also QTWO Metals. Both QTWO Metals and OPHR are listed on the TSX stock exchange. And for those of you that aren't familiar with them, I'd suggest having a look at the work that they're doing and their projects. Some really excited projects to be near. So we acquired this project from a company called Rockland Resources, a Canadian listed company, and announced it in early June. Both QTWO Metals projects and OPHR Gold's projects are also really early stage exploration. No drilling has been done focusing on lithium mineralisation. All the work within the Greenstone belt has previously been focused on gold mineralisation. However, both QTWO and OPHR have rock chip sample results from their projects. On this map, I only have QTWO's results listed, with OPHR only releasing their results last week. So we haven't updated that yet. We'll need to get onto that. So QTWO itself, they are exploring predominantly their Mia and Kate project areas. And from Mia, they had done over 18 grab samples, averaging 2.65% lithium oxide from that area. And that has been their main focus area going forward. I think they have approximately 10,000 metres of drilling planned for this summer. And both the work being done by QTWO Metals and OPHR is also being done by Darouge Geological. So that provides us with fantastic synergies. It'll be the same group of geologists and field crew that will be working on the area, which enables us to get onto the ground a lot sooner than would have been otherwise anticipated. Both OPHR and QTWO were actually on the ground in early June. They only did a limited amount of work. I think QTWO were on the ground for approximately 2 days and OPHR only 1.5 days, when they had to pause all of their exploration activities and vacate the area due to the ongoing wildfires in northern Quebec. And so whilst they were only on the ground for a really limited amount of time, they're obviously on the ground for enough time to be able to confirm, OPHR confirmed multiple spodumene bearing pegmatites outcrops within their area. They targeted, I think, 10 areas, and 4 of those areas got rock chip results greater than 1%, including one at 2.33. And they identified a prospective strike length of over 2 kilometres, bearing in mind they were only on the ground for a day and a half. So there's, plenty more blue sky for them to be looking at. Likewise, QTWO only being on the ground for 2 days. I believe they focused on their known areas of mineralisation, verifying the previous work that was completed. And from that, they did identify some extensions of their MEA zone. So I know that both companies will be eagerly awaiting the restrictions being lifted in the area and being able to get on the ground. And both of these companies, there's some real synergies between these companies and the Corvette discovery. So the VP of Exploration for OPHR, Darren Smith, also sits on within Patriot Battery Metals, and the VP of Exploration for QTWO Metals is Neil McCallum, who's a senior geologist at Darouge. And both Neil and Darren were involved in the original identification and staking of Patriot Battery Metals. So we feel like we're in really good company there, with our neighbours really knowing the ground, knowing what to look for, and knowing all the key signs of significant lithium mineralisation within the area. So getting back to our project in particular, so I suppose what is a key difference between our project area and various other projects in the area is the access. As you can see, the James Bay Road, that State Route 109, snakes through the Wapistan East project, and there is additional roads going east-west just to the south of Wapistan West and through the northern portion of Wapistan East. We're only 35 kilometres to the north there to La Grande Airport, which is a regional airport. So really well located from a logistical point of view. And these access roads are really key in us being able to get on the ground early. At the moment, a lot of the helicopters have been requisitioned by the government for their firefighting activities. So the fact that we can essentially, traverse the ground by the road and essentially then field traverses, get out and walk the area, really sets us apart from others that'll be waiting for helicopter usage, like we will be for our Express project. So we're really keen to get on the ground there. We have approximately 30 kilometres of Greenstone belt to explore. As mentioned, no lithium mineralisation, no exploration for lithium mineralisation completed to date. However, there are various pegmatites that have been noted in historical reports targeting gold mineralisation. So we are super looking forward to the Darouge Geological Consulting team being able to head back out into the field. And obviously, whilst they're getting on the ground at the QTWO Metals and OPHR ground, they'll be also being able to get onto the ground at ours and explore this, really large package that we have been able to acquire in the area. So now I'll jump down to the south to our Express Lithium project. So this was the project that we acquired in March of this year. And this was the one that was acquired through the DG Resource Management Group, which is what brought them onto the register. So the Express Lithium project is broken up into 2 claim blocks with a total of 139 million claims. Sorry, mineral claims, not million claims. That would be a huge number. We'd probably almost cover Quebec from that point of view. So 139 mineral claims, covering approximately 74 square kilometres of the area. Really well located project. We are only 12 kilometres southeast of Allkem's James Bay deposit and 15 kilometres northeast of Cygnus Metals Pontax project, which is listed on the ASX. Also of note is the Brunswick exploration, which is listed on the TSXV. BRW is their code. Their project lies just between James Bay and our northern portion of our Express project, and they have released some really interesting lithium drill results over the past month. This project area was identified by the Derouge group. It is a clay block predominantly underlain by muscovite and tourmaline bearing pegmatite areas with enclaves of the pegmatites. As mentioned, never been explored for lithium. However, there are various high priority pegmatites that we're really keen to get on the ground at. And these were identified by essentially the Geological Survey of Quebec. And there's various outcrops that are also evident from satellite imagery. And the reason why this area, I think, was initially identified by the Derouge group was looking at it in terms of this real spodumene-bearing pegmatite trend, with the trend of the pegmatite intrusions in the northern area, so circa the James Bay deposit, are generally orientated west-northwest to east-southeast, whereas in the south, around the Cygnus project, the Pontax project held by Cygnus Metals, the pegmatite swarms are generally southwest to northeast trending. So we kind of look at the fact that these two trends appear to converge circa our Express project. So since acquiring this project in March, we've been really busy doing all the data compilation work, looking through all the satellite data, geophysical data, and identifying key project areas, which will be ground truthing in our upcoming field program. So we had all of our geological crew, accommodation and helicopters secured, due to commence at the end of July. Hopefully that still will go ahead, but that will be reliant on the remainder of the restrictions continuing to lift in the area. But we have everything ready to go. And so from this project work that we have been completing, we've identified 4 main target areas, with various mapped pegmatites from the Geological Survey, and also interpreted outcrop areas from the aerial imagery. So the Derouge Geological Consulting team have gone through identifying all of these targets, prioritising them, and essentially mapping out where we will walk from. So where we will get dropped off from on one helicopter, traverse an area, walking across the pegmatites, mapping them, taking samples, and then getting picked up another area to get dropped in another area to cover our entire amount of target areas. So we have approximately 2 weeks on the ground planned for Express, still earmarked for the end of July, and all permitting with the safe working conditions, then we'll be on the ground then. So really eager to get on the ground at both the Wapistan and Express projects and really move them along at the same time. So I suppose I've essentially touched on our forward work program. So data compilation is key for the area, working out where you want to be when you're out in the field, not wasting any of that time. So that's what our Derouge Geological and our recharge teams have been doing at the moment. Express is all worked up, ready to go. Wapistan, seeing we only acquired it earlier this month, is currently in that data compilation stage. That's currently going through, working out all the target areas so that when, again, these safe working conditions allow, then we'll be out on the field, maximising our time and checking out all of these key target areas. So from that, when we're on the ground, we'll be completing the surface mapping and rock chip sampling programs, and these will happen at both Express and Wapistan during this summer season. We also have LiDAR surveys planned. They, again, were due to have commenced, one of them last month. However, obviously the fires in Quebec are creating a bit of a havoc with everyone's timeframes at the moment. So the LiDAR survey is essentially a DTM mapping tool of the area, which will further enhance our understanding of the area and enable us to really prioritise our target areas where we believe these pegmatites will be. I'm planning to head over to site at the end of July, which should coincide with the being on ground. Really keen to walk the area and get on ground, and to work with the Darouge crews whilst we're over there. We have all of our permits in place, and all of our contracts in place. So we're really ready for this work to be done. From the sampling and mapping programs, drill targets will be identified, and our priority targets are planned to be drilled in the back end of this year. Drilling may be spread between Express and Wapistan. This will all be dependent on what are our key targets. We'll be hitting our best ones first. So it'll be a really busy 2023, and we're just super eager for it to kick off and to get on ground and get this work underway. So I suppose, Alex, in terms of, for summarising why Recharge, why we're at, and why to invest in us, we look at the fact that, we have these two fantastic synergistic assets, both the Express Lithium project and the Wapistan project, located only 120 kilometres away from each other, on the western side of James Bay, surrounded by these world-class lithium projects and discoveries, and sitting in an area with fantastic infrastructure. We've got that James Bay Road running right up through the area. We've got Quebec hydropower lines running through the area, various logistical hubs, and we're close to the airports. And we've obviously got the, being in a tier 1 mining jurisdiction with the strong government support, which is coming from Canada. Both projects are at a really early, exciting stage of exploration. No work has been done on them from a lithium point of view. However, we've got various outcropping pegmatites that have been observed but untested, meaning the fact that they have been noted and recorded by the Geological Survey, but no samples have been taken and analysed for lithium mineralisation. So we're really keen to get out on the ground and get that work done. And we have this aggressive exploration campaign ready to go. We're really well funded. We've got all of our permits and contracts in place. And at the moment, we're essentially just eagerly awaiting commencing our programs once the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forests give us the go-ahead and the fire risk has subsided. And I think, the key difference with Recharge is also our share registry, with having the DG Resource Management Group on there. With them having identified and acquired and vended the Patriot Battery Metals project, really familiar with working in the area, and we can really lean on their expertise going forward. So we feel like we're really well positioned, and just really looking forward to getting on the ground and getting things moving.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. That's very comprehensive. You've really sort of hit most of the questions I had on the way, but clearly, very exciting jurisdiction with, some very prospective ground. You've got some neighbours who are having massive success at the moment, and some big players who have defined large resources locally, and you have everything you need to get started. You're well funded. You've got good support from key local players. You have really just waiting to hit the go button, wait for the fires to subside and get on the ground.
Yeah, we need to send some of this rain from Perth up there, and then we'd be fine.
Yeah, we've got plenty of it in Melbourne as well. But that's very exciting. I hope we'll be following you closely, and looking forward to getting some news from the on-ground, on-site activities in the coming weeks, hopefully. And I really appreciate you running through that today, Felicity. That's a very good summary of everything that Recharge has done to date and has planned for the rest of the year. And it's obviously a very exciting story to follow. So we'll be keeping very close watch. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us, Alex. And look forward to keeping everyone updated. And we'll have to jump on another call once we're on the ground and can show you what we've got over there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Felicity.
Thanks, Alex.